Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Pulse. Jamie, it feels like everyone's talking about the economy these days, right?
Absolutely, Alex. And we've got some fresh numbers that really highlight that feeling. A new PBS News/NPR/Marist poll just dropped, and it's quite telling.
Oh, tell me more. What's the big takeaway?
Well, it seems Americans are more dissatisfied than ever with President Trump's handling of the economy. We're talking about a record-high disapproval.
Wow, record high. That's significant. What are the specific numbers looking like?
Exactly. 57% of respondents disapprove of his economic performance. That's his lowest approval rating on this issue across both of his terms. Only 36% believe President Trump is doing a good job.
So, a pretty stark shift in public sentiment then. What's driving this dissatisfaction, do you think?
You know, the poll really points to everyday concerns. People are worried about the cost of living, healthcare expenses, and their personal finances. 7 out of 10 Americans, for instance, say the cost of living in their area is just unaffordable.
That's a huge number, 7 out of 10. It really shows how widespread this economic anxiety is. And it sounds like this is leading to a general feeling of pessimism, too?
That's right. The poll found 57% of Americans have a more negative outlook for the year ahead, which is a big change from a year ago, when people felt more optimistic.
So, how is President Trump reacting to all of this? Is he addressing these affordability issues?
He has acknowledged them, Alex, and pledged to control prices, but he's also described these concerns as a con job orchestrated by Democrats.
A con job? That's a strong phrase. I imagine that might cause some tension, even within his own party.
It definitely has. Even some Republican members of Congress are publicly disagreeing. For example, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene criticized the idea that affordability issues are just a Democrat hoax, pointing to record credit card debt as real evidence of an unstable economy.
That's interesting. A rift within the party. And given that the Republican Party currently controls the White House and both chambers of Congress, it must be difficult for President Trump to deflect blame for the current economic climate, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. Pollsters suggest it's hard to shift responsibility when your party holds all the power. It's a challenging situation for the administration as we head towards the end of the year.
Definitely a lot to unpack there, Jamie. Thanks for breaking down those numbers for us.
My pleasure, Alex.
Welcome back to Global Pulse, everyone. Jamie, have you seen the headlines this morning? President Trump has just ordered a naval blockade on Venezuela. That's a huge move.
Whoa, Alex, I did. It's massive news, right? A blockade? That sounds really serious. What exactly is going on there?
Well, President Trump is really escalating pressure, Jamie. He's ordered this blockade specifically on all sanctioned oil tankers in the region.
Right. And what's the reason, Why now?
President Trump claims Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, is using oil money to finance drug trafficking and other criminal activities. He's vowed to increase military pressure until they return what he calls stolen assets.
Wow, so it's about oil and drugs, essentially. And President Trump even said the repercussions for Venezuela would be like nothing they have ever seen before. That's a strong statement.
Exactly. And Venezuela's government quickly condemned it, calling the blockade order utterly irrational. They're accusing President Trump of trying to steal their nation's wealth.
Which is pretty much what we expected, I guess. This isn't just a political issue. There are reports of divisions within the U.S. Congress, too, about supporting these kinds of military strikes.
That's a critical point, Jamie. It shows the complexity. And we're already seeing the economic impact globally. Oil prices surged right after the news. Brent crude rallied over 2%.
Unbelievable, considering prices were at their lowest since 2021 just yesterday. Energy stocks in Europe, like BP and Shell, also saw their shares climb.
Yeah. It just shows how impactful these actions from the U.S. administration are, not just diplomatically, but for international energy markets. A lot to unpack here.
Absolutely, Alex. This story is definitely far from over. We'll be keeping a close eye on it.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Jamie, have you seen the latest buzz in the tech world? We're talking billions of dollars changing hands.
Oh, I certainly have, Alex. It's massive news. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, is reportedly in advanced talks with Amazon for a mind-boggling investment. We're talking over $10 billion. Can you believe it?
Wow, $10 billion. That's just incredible. So it's not just a cash injection, right? There's a deeper strategy here, isn't there?
Exactly. That's the really interesting part. The deal would actually commit OpenAI to purchasing and using Amazon's own custom AI chips. Amazon has been investing a lot in developing their unique hardware for artificial intelligence.
Right. So it's a big win for both sides then. For Amazon, this would be a significant boost for their growing custom chip development efforts, positioning them as a key hardware provider for one of the leading AI innovators out there. That's huge.
Absolutely, Alex. And for OpenAI, such an investment would clearly put their valuation much higher than its previous assessment. We're talking way over $500 billion now, reflecting the intense investor interest in this whole AI bubble phenomenon we've been seeing.
It really underscores that AI bubble point. Technology companies focused on AI are getting unprecedented valuations and attracting massive capital. This news even contributed to a positive sentiment in the stock market. Futures were ticking higher as investors closely monitor every move in the AI space.
Precisely. But as you mentioned, it goes beyond just the money. For OpenAI, getting access to Amazon's custom AI chips could really enhance the performance and scalability of their foundational models, like ChatGPT, while potentially cutting down on their operational costs.
And on the flip side, for Amazon, securing a crucial customer like OpenAI for its advanced computing infrastructure, that really embeds their cloud services and hardware right into the core of next-generation AI development. It's a very strategic alignment.
It really is, Alex. It highlights this increasing interdependence between developing AI software and needing specialized hardware infrastructure to run it all. It's fascinating to watch these two giants come together like this.
Definitely a development to keep our eyes on. The future of AI is being built right before us, and often with billions of dollars.
Indeed.
Welcome back to Future Forward, everyone. Jamie, what a wild ride it's been in the tech world lately, especially with AI, right? It feels like every single day brings another jaw-dropping announcement.
Absolutely, Alex. And December 17th truly delivered a whirlwind. It was just packed with major AI and tech product launches, showcasing how fast things are moving. Honestly, it's almost hard to keep up.
You are so right. Let's dive right into some of the most exciting news. First up, Meta made a really big splash with something innovative they're calling SAM Audio.
Yes, SAM Audio. It sounds incredibly powerful. It's an advanced AI model specifically designed for audio editing, and it's set to revolutionize how content creators, like podcasters or musicians, approach their work.
Exactly. Imagine being able to precisely isolate and segment any specific sound from an audio file. You could do it just by typing what you want, showing it a picture, or even picking a specific moment on a timeline. That offers unprecedented intuitive control for audio engineers and anyone creating content.
Wow, that's a genuine game changer for anyone dealing with complex audio tracks. No more tedious manual cleanup or trying to pick out a single instrument from a mix, right? It truly sounds amazing.
Precisely. And speaking of groundbreaking AI advancements, OpenAI certainly wasn't quiet either. They unveiled a massive upgrade to their image generation capabilities with the release of GPT Image 1.5.
Oh, yes. And the speed, Alex, it's 4 times faster than its predecessor, which is incredible for iteration. Plus, it offers significantly enhanced precision in editing. And here's the best part. They've integrated a dedicated images feature directly into ChatGPT, making advanced image generation so much more accessible to a wider user base.
That's truly huge for general users. It moves image creation away from highly specialized tools to something built right into an everyday AI chat assistant. Talk about democratizing creativity.
Absolutely. And shifting gears slightly to something more consumer-facing, Instagram is also jumping onto bigger screens. They're launching a dedicated TV application on Amazon Fire devices.
So we'll be seeing a lot more Reels content on our living room TVs. That makes perfect sense, as they're clearly trying to broaden their audience reach beyond just phones and tablets. It's smart.
Exactly. It's all about making content ubiquitous. But it's not just about flashy consumer products. The burgeoning demand for AI is also profoundly shaping corporate strategy. Salesforce, for example, just quadrupled the size of its Stockholm office.
Right. That's a significant strategic move, directly responding to the skyrocketing need for AI technologies and something they call the agentic enterprise across Northern Europe. It really underscores how absolutely critical AI is becoming for businesses of all sizes.
And another interesting development, Lovable, a company focused on integrations, has expanded its capabilities by adding new connectors for powerful tools like Perplexity, 11 Labs, Firecrawl, and Miro.
So they're essentially making it much easier for users to develop applications that can do everything from conducting in-depth research and facilitating spoken interactions to scraping web data and converting visual brainstorms into functional prototypes. It's truly about empowering users with advanced AI tools without needing to be a developer.
It truly is. December 17th really highlighted how rapidly AI is evolving and becoming deeply integrated into nearly every aspect of our digital lives, from creative tools to core business operations. It's an exciting, if not dizzying, pace.
What an absolutely dynamic day for tech, Jamie. It truly feels like we're just scratching the surface of what AI can achieve.
We certainly are, Alex, and we'll be here to keep everyone updated on Future Forward.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Global Insights. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. We've got a really significant story today that touches on national security, scientific research, and, international relations.
Absolutely. So Jamie, a new congressional report just came out, and it's making some serious claims about China.
Right. The report, published this Wednesday, December 17th, alleges that China is actually exploiting U.S. research that's funded by our own Department of Energy.
Wow, exploiting how exactly? Are we talking about, stealing secrets?
Well, it's more subtle than just stealing. The report says China is using collaborations with U.S. researchers. These partnerships, which seem innocent on the surface, are giving the Chinese military access to very sensitive nuclear technology and other important innovations.
Sensitive nuclear tech? That sounds incredibly serious. And this is all from U.S. taxpayer-funded projects?
Exactly. The Department of Energy funds a lot of advanced research, things like nuclear energy, quantum computing, and material science. The report says these areas are especially vulnerable.
So, effectively, our own money and scientific advancements could be inadvertently helping China's military expansion. That's a huge concern, especially with the ongoing tech and arms rivalry between our two countries. President Trump has often talked about safeguarding American interests.
Absolutely. The report really emphasizes the urgent need for the U.S. to protect its high-tech research better. They want to make sure the outcomes of taxpayer-funded work don't accidentally benefit Beijing.
That makes perfect sense. So what are the proposed solutions? What can be done?
Good question. The report recommends several policy changes. For example, new guidelines for the Department of Energy when they consider funding projects that involve any Chinese partnerships.
It sounds like they're trying to build a firewall, to prevent U.S. research from contributing to China's military. It's a tricky balance, isn't it, between global scientific cooperation and national security?
It really is. The report highlights that if we're not careful, this unchecked cooperation could strengthen China's capabilities and potentially shape a future global order that isn't in the U.S.'s best interest. It's a complex situation.
Definitely. A lot to think about there. Thanks for breaking that down, Jamie.
My pleasure, Alex.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to BizBeat, your weekly dive into the world of business.
We've got some juicy news straight from the entertainment industry today, Alex.
You know it, Jamie. Big news in the streaming wars.
Absolutely. Warner Bros. Discovery, WBD, just made a huge announcement.
That's right. Their board of directors has unanimously rejected a takeover offer.
And that offer came from Paramount Skydance. WBD basically said, no thank you.
Exactly. They said it wasn't in WBD's best interests or for its shareholders.
And critically, it wasn't a superior proposal compared to something they already have.
Which is their existing merger agreement with Netflix. That announcement from last December is still on.
So, WBD is sticking with Netflix. They're advising shareholders to reject Paramount Skydance's offer.
Now, why did they say no? What were the big reasons, Jamie?
Well, according to Samuel D. Piazza Jr., WBD's board chair, the Paramount offer just wasn't good enough financially.
Right. They found the value inadequate and noted significant risks and costs.
One big concern was Paramount Skydance's financial health, their creditworthiness. They have a lot of debt.
Imagine partnering with someone already loaded with loans. It can make things very risky, right?
Exactly. And another huge factor, money they'd owe if they broke off the Netflix deal.
Oh, the breakup fee.
Yup, a massive $2.8 billion termination fee to Netflix. Paramount Skydance wasn't covering that.
Wow. Plus, they'd face another $1.5 billion in financing costs. That's $4.3 billion in potential penalties.
That huge sum, about $1.66 per share, really solidified the board's decision.
So, the Netflix merger offers a better, more secure deal for everyone.
Precisely. It looks like Warner Bros. Discovery's future is definitely with Netflix.
Fascinating stuff, Jamie. We'll keep an eye on this.
Definitely. Tune in next week for more business news.
Welcome back to Global Chatter. Jamie, have you ever wondered how much other countries' money might be influencing the politics where you live?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. It's a huge concern, especially these days. It feels like every time you turn on the news, there's talk about foreign influence.
Exactly. And speaking of that, the UK government has just launched a really important independent review. They're going to be looking very closely at how foreign money might be interfering with British politics.
Wow, that sounds serious. So what prompted this? Who announced it?
Well, the Housing Secretary, Steve Reed, made the announcement in the House of Commons. He emphasized that this is a growing danger to British democracy. He even pointed to specific cases, like one where a British politician was accused of taking money to help the Russian regime.
The Russian regime? That's quite a strong accusation. What kind of actions are they worried about?
Right. Reed mentioned things like Russia allegedly forcibly deporting Ukrainian children and even using a dangerous chemical weapon right there in the UK. He said this kind of conduct is a stain on our democracy, and this review aims to remove that stain.
That's really powerful language. So who's leading this big investigation?
Good question. Philip Rycroft, who used to be a very senior government official, has been appointed to lead it. He's going to assess all the current financial rules and safeguards, and then he'll offer recommendations to make things stronger.
That makes sense. It's about finding the weak spots and fixing them, right? When can we expect to hear the results?
Yep, exactly. His report is due to be submitted by the end of March. And this isn't the only thing happening. There's also a new elections bill coming out that's expected to add even more protections.
So it sounds like the UK government is really serious about protecting its democratic process from any outside manipulation. It's a crucial step, and hopefully other countries are paying attention too.
Absolutely. It's all about transparency and trust in the political system, a fascinating and important development.
Welcome back to Global Insights, everyone. Alex here, joined by the brilliant Jamie. Today, we've got some really important news from Europe, focusing on justice, accountability, and the long road to recovery.
That's right, Alex. It's a truly significant development. The Netherlands has just officially confirmed its role as the host nation for the International Claims Commission for Ukraine. This was confirmed on December 16th at a ministerial diplomatic conference in The Hague.
Wow, an International Claims Commission for Ukraine. That sounds incredibly serious and vital. Can you break down what this means, Jamie? What's its core purpose?
Absolutely. Essentially, this commission aims to create an international compensation mechanism, allowing victims of Russian aggression, citizens, businesses, institutions, to seek and receive reparations for extensive damage. It's a huge step towards accountability.
So it's tangible financial help, not just symbolic. How will this complex process actually work? Do people just send claims directly?
Good question. It's part of a larger three-component mechanism. The first, the Register of Damage for Ukraine, is already in The Hague, accepting claims since 2024. Over 80,000 have been received already.
80,000. That number really brings home the immense scale of destruction and suffering. So the Claims Commission we're discussing now, hosted by the Netherlands, is the second crucial part of that larger process?
Exactly. The Claims Commission will be tasked with assessing all those registered damage claims. And then the third and final step will be the creation of a compensation fund, which will ultimately disperse the awarded financial compensations to the victims.
Right, a structured system for fairness and rebuilding lives. It sounds like a massive international commitment, especially from the Netherlands, to ensure justice.
It really is, Alex. Hosting this commission offers restitution and is a strong international acknowledgement of profound suffering. The convention signing is a historic stride for justice and reparation for Ukraine, emphasizing global commitment.
A historic stride indeed. A lot of hope for recovery and accountability bundled into the significant announcement. Thanks so much for breaking that down for us, Jamie.
My pleasure, Alex. It's certainly a story we'll be following closely.
Welcome back to Digital Pulse. Today, we're diving into some pretty serious news about our online security. Jamie, it seems our phones and computers are under more threat than ever.
You're absolutely right, Alex. It's not just a minor issue. Leading tech companies like Apple and Google have issued urgent cyber threat notifications worldwide. They're talking about an unprecedented wave of surveillance.
Unprecedented, wow. What exactly does that mean? Who's behind these attacks?
Well, they're pointing fingers at state-linked mercenary spyware groups.
So not just random hackers, but groups potentially working with governments, developing really sophisticated tools.
That's a scary thought. I remember hearing about spyware before. Is this new?
It's evolving. Google specifically warned about Intellexa, a vendor that sells spyware. Despite international efforts and sanctions, they're still active, which is really concerning.
So even with sanctions, these groups find ways to operate. And Apple too?
Yes, Apple has confirmed sending threat notifications to users in over 150 countries since 2021. It shows just how widespread and targeted these digital surveillance efforts are.
Over 150 countries? That's almost everywhere. It's not just big companies, right? Even individuals are affected.
Exactly. Beyond the tech giants, national agencies are also reporting major breaches. For instance, New Zealand's National Cybersecurity Centre alerted 26,000 people about Luma Stealer malware.
Luma Stealer? Sounds nasty. What does it do?
It's designed to steal sensitive information like email addresses and passwords. What's particularly alarming is that some compromised credentials were linked to government agency systems and even bank accounts.
That's a huge risk. And New Zealand contacted that many people for a single campaign?
First time they've done anything on this scale, which tells you how serious it is. And it's not just a specific type of attack. Earlier this year, Ireland's health service executive confirmed a ransomware attack.
Critical infrastructure again. Hospitals, essential services, these are prime targets, aren't they?
Absolutely. The takeaway is that cyber attacks aren't just continuing, they're evolving, becoming more sophisticated and spreading. It affects everyone, from high-profile entities to everyday users like us.
So what can we do? It sounds like we need to be extra vigilant.
Precisely. Enhanced cybersecurity measures are crucial, but also increased user awareness. Understanding these threats is the first step to protecting ourselves online. It's a global challenge.
A truly global challenge. Thanks for breaking that down, Jamie. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Hey, Jamie. Great to be back. Today, we're diving into something really interesting. Why so many young people are just not watching the news anymore.
Right? It's a huge shift. For a long time, getting your daily dose of current events was just what you did. But now, especially for younger generations, it's a different story.
Exactly. We're talking about a growing trend of news avoidance, and it's not necessarily because they don't care. Research by Shipstead's NLab shows many find traditional news stressful, too negative, or just frustrating.
Yeah, I totally get that. Who wants to feel overwhelmed every morning? The InLab team, led by Beline Rebecca Bekele and Molly Gronlund-Mueller, has spent over 3 years looking into this. They're trying to figure out what a preferable future for journalism looks like.
And it's crucial because there's this other trend too. People living in completely different realities based on the information they consume. It makes it really hard to even have a conversation about shared facts.
Exactly. It creates so many divides. You see it, for example, in how different groups react to political news or leaders like President Trump. Their perceptions can be incredibly different based on their news sources. It's truly fascinating how deep that rabbit hole goes.
Wow, that's a perfect example. And the young people InLab spoke to, those up to their early 30s, they actually want journalism to help bridge those divides. They've grown up seeing a very polarized world.
Precisely. They want news to be responsible, to be a positive, unifying force, not just to report problems, but maybe to offer solutions, or at least foster understanding.
And what about new tech, like AI? I know it's everywhere now.
It is. Their survey with 500 young participants touched on AI too. Many see its benefits for news, but they also have big concerns about its broader societal impacts. So it's not a simple yes or no answer.
So ultimately, it's about journalism adapting, right? Meeting young audiences where they are, understanding their needs, and trying to build that engagement again.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing dialogue that's vital for the future of news. We can't just expect people to come to us. We have to meet them with content that feels relevant and helpful, not just overwhelming.